Rumi, tell us a little bit about yourself for folks who have no idea who you are.
All right. Well, I'm Rumi, and I'm the original member of the Coquettes, which was a...
The Coquettes. What's the Coquettes?
The Coquettes was a theatrical troupe founded back in 1970 to 1972. 2.5 years, it was all over. But oh my God.
But the impact.
Yeah, the impact. Well, we didn't know at the time what it would spawn and what it would have created and what was coming 40 years later. We just had our 40th anniversary at San Francisco MoMA last December 3rd. And the thing keeps going and going and going. Originally we were a commune of 10 men, 3 women, and an infant. But anyone could be a coquette. You just had to get your drag together, jump on stage, break the 3rd or 4th wall, and you were in the show.
And lots of glitter.
Lots of glitter, yep, that's right. So there we were. And we broke up in July of 1972, and I became the archivist and the collector for the group. And now, after all these years later, I tour with the films and live shows, gallery shows, and kind of I had to become disabled to live out my fantasies, but that's what I do now. I'm living my fantasy life, enjoying this huge, huge ride that the Coquettes provided me for.
And now you're in New York.
Yep.
You're here doing a quick tour on your way to Europe.
I call this the Give Back tour. I'm not going to Europe yet. We'll
okay.
go in the fall.
In the fall, all right, great.
I'm just here for 9 days, 10 nights this time or something like that. And I did a big event at the Gay Center last Friday night with a special guest, Mario Montez, who's been in town with us.
Oh, how fantastic.
To see him. Hasn't lived in New York for 25 years. The legendary Mario Montez. We had a really special show. I've had a bunch of photo shoots with great photographers and beautiful lunch with Bruce Benderson, the author, Bruce Benderson.
Oh, fantastic.
And I'm also here to shoot a music video this Friday night for a fabulous group called Mirror Mirror. I'm covering a song called Interiors.
Oh, all right.
So I'm excited about that. We've been rehearsing for that the last 2 days at Dance Manhattan.
Okay, and you're shooting Friday.
Yeah, we're shooting
so
Friday.
So it's a whirlwind tour.
It sure is. This is a whirlwind tour. I'll be back for a month in October.
Great.
But I've been coming every April and October. I prefer to work here.
Spring and fall are the best seasons in New York, of course.
Yeah. We've revived a show back in San Francisco, a 40-year-old Coquette show that I'm reprising my original role as
That's
Madame
amazing.
Ginsling in Pearls Over Shanghai. And we thought it was just going to be a 3-week run. We actually premiered it here back in 2008 at the Howell Festival and took it back to San Francisco, opened it there. It was supposed to be a 3-week run. The thing is still running.
That's so fantastic.
And, I can't...
Now, are you the only original Coquette in the production?
No, Scrumbly has written the music.
Okay.
And it's the two of us. He is
Great.
also the piano player for it. And so he plays Ilsa. And he's the piano player at Madame Ginsling's Whorehouse, and that will be me.
Okay.
But the thing keeps going, so I can't be in it all the time because I tour and I have so many other projects going. So I have 3 understudies now who do my part.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I can step in it when I want. I just did a month of Saturdays as a special guest, and I'm off now for a month. Then I go back in May 1st through June 1st. May 1st will be our 100th performance.
Great.
And June 1st will be our 1-year anniversary of running at the Hypnodrome in San Francisco.
That's fantastic.
So
if you're in San Francisco, exactly. Don't miss that, right?
Yeah.
So, Rumi, I have some tapes,
Sure.
some DVDs you gave us, and we're going to take a look at some of your material
Yeah,
right now.
let the Children of the Coquettes roll, and I'm going to talk over that.
Okay,
right
I think, is that what we have now?
Sure
All
is.
right,
Okay.
great. I'm going to let it roll, and
Yeah,
you're
put
going
it
to talk right over it, so I'm going to pull down the volume and let you have it.
Sure.
Right. So this is from Children of the Coquettes?
Yes, this is Benoit, Mr. Waugh here, who is the director of this film. We've just started working together the last year now, and we're putting together a feature film called Children of the Coquettes, of the Coquettes and what they've spawned. Included is, you'll see snippets from Pearls Over Shanghai. My Blue Hour is something I was hosting once a month all last summer, the Blue Hour.
And was that sort of a variety show?
It was a fabulous cabaret show that was free after Pearls Over Shanghai that got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was really good. So this is me as Tina Turner behind the scrim at the Hypnodrome in San Francisco. I just started lip syncing because the Coquettes never lip sync. We didn't believe
funny,
in it, but
yeah.
I started doing it, and lo and behold. So yeah, we just had our 40th anniversary here at San Francisco MoMA.
I bet that was quite an
Yeah,
event.
it sure was. It was wonderful, huh? So Ben is put together this footage. Here's a clip from Tree with me and Hibiscus, and here's my train at San Francisco MoMA going down the staircase.
Did you need assistance to help with that?
I did. I had an escort and an assistant. an intern that night. It was fabulous. There's Justin Bond with me on the steps of
Oh,
MoMA.
beautiful.
Him and Lady Miss Keir came out from New York as hosts for the
Oh,
event.
fantastic.
Here's Justin and
Oh,
Lady
and
Miss
Lady
Keir on
Keir,
stage
yeah.
introducing what's left of the Cockettes. You know, now I count 168 of Cockettes. Originally we were 13, but so many are gone from drugs and from AIDS. So there just a small coterie of us left. And here I am.
Now, in the 70s, were you all young people at
We
that
sure
time?
were,
Yeah, okay, great.
No one was over 30.
Did you trust anybody over 30?
No.
Or was that just the yippies?
Now it's under 30.
Now it's under 30, exactly.
Right.
It seems like the generation below us missed it. It's like, you know how we all hated our parents? I always tell this story. We always seem to all hate our parents, but loved our grandparents. And the same thing with the new generation. The generation below the Cockettes don't quite get it, but the generation beneath them really love it. They love it. It's me as Madame Ginsling. Well, here's Joey Jeffries in a class I did at NYU when I was here last October.
Oh, fantastic. Over at NYU, yeah.
Yeah, I love doing his class. So.
I'm sure it's interesting to take Joey's class as well.
It is, huh? And here's another clip from Pearls Over Shanghai. I'm in front as Madame Ginsling running the whorehouse. We've kidnapped 3 white girls and sold them into white
I
slavery.
see their panties.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That looks so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you doing anything else in New York while you're here?
Just the MTV shoot coming up, the music video, and I've got to go back to San Francisco Saturday. I've got a few days off, and I'm stepping back into a film I'm doing there called The Glitter Emergency with the San Francisco Ballet, and it's kind of a Cinderella type story that I play one of the Wicked Stepsisters.
Oh, how
and,
fun.
We have a drag queen, a peg-legged ballerina called Peggy Legs, who the stepsisters can't hate, and they hoist her up, the aerialist, into the sky of the supper club, and we try to cut her down with big pruning shears, and the pixies from the San Francisco Ballet come up and douse us with glitter.
Oh,
and we melt, and all you see is our drag on. So I'll be doing another shoot with them, and then I'm going back into Pearls as a special guest.
Now, say somebody wants to get in touch with you or hear more about the Cockettes. How could they do that?
Well, I run 3 Facebook pages. So the best way to go is, if you're on Facebook, is go to Rumi Missabu. That's RUMI MISSABU. I have my own page, and all my events are posted there, and a lot of the Cockettes. There's also a fabulous site on Facebook called The Cockettes Forever, and you also might check another site that's just started up, a new startup Facebook site called Hibiscus and the Cockettes and the Angels of Light, a third site that I'm an administrator of. So,
great.
You can also get a hold of me at cocketterumi@gmail.com.
If you want to email,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on here now.
Okay, let's see what's happening here. Where have we got? Well, we've got this is a Masturbation Blues, one of the songs in the Pearls Over Shanghai. We were criticized. Oh dear, we were criticized for originally in the original group of 40 years ago. There was lots of nudity, and when we first opened this production, there was no nudity. So one of the review came out and says, "Where's the nudity?" So we added this number. We put the nudity back in for this number. It's pretty raunchy, Masturbation Blues.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to
Sure.
I'm going to come back into it. That was pretty amazing material that we've been watching. How did people react to it when you first started doing this material in the 70s?
They loved it. It was packed houses.
Right.
For somehow the vibe just resonated with people. Everyone
Is
came.
that because it was in San Francisco? I mean, what
was.
happened?
It was the peak of the sexual revolution. It was
Right.
69, 70, the peak of the sexual revolution. Anything goes.
Now, did Anita Bryant have anything to say about it? I
No,
mean, did
no.
any of those folks? Nobody.
We lived in our own reality, so we didn't care about Anita Bryant.
Right.
The Cockettes were a commune.
Right. Actually, Anita Bryant isn't as bad now as she was back in those days. Now she's become sort of full.
She's mellowed.
Well, she had friends and loved ones who died of AIDS, so she,
Well, that'll mellow anybody.
No, she definitely changed her attitude. But obviously, others have stepped in to take the right wing. So you haven't really run into in the big city. Is it just because it's Sodom and Gomorrah, and they're going to just nuke them all anyway? The big cities.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That doesn't really matter, whether it's this Sodom or that Gomorrah, right?
And you can still get away with this in San Francisco. You can still walk down the street naked in San Francisco, and you can't do that here. That's the difference between San Francisco and New York. The vibe is still there. I don't know what it is, but it's always been like that.
Right. Nobody will even head turn to something that would have like 20 people dialing 911 in New York.
Not at all. I just posted an old picture I found in my collection. The Cockettes in 1970 went to the top of Nob Hill naked with blankets wrapped around them and waited for the cable car to crest the top of the hill. When it did, they shed the blankets, jumped on the cable car. It was very early in the morning. There were only 2 male tourists on it who didn't seem to mind. The cable driver was incensed. Get off my cable car. But they did it just in time to make a nice little poster.
I saw that
And
picture.
the
It's
front page of the
fantastic.
Chronicle.
Now you say many of the original coquettes have passed away.
Oh,
and
yes,
aren't with us.
so little.
And you've been archiving it. And how do you present that archive? How do you?
That's interesting because I had been, after making a decision where to put the collection, rather than San Francisco, which was our home, I decided to put the collection at the New York Public Library of Performing Arts at Lincoln Center.
Oh,
And
really? Right
there's
here,
another
right down the
huge,
street.
there's another huge collection there from a later coquette who worked and collected everything after I did.
Nice.
I quit the group early, and then I've been collecting since. But he amassed an incredible collection. I said, let's merge my collection.
That's
with his
such a
collection,
great
making the
idea.
biggest collection
Yeah.
in the world.
Sure.
And just today, I've been informed that material was I've made 4 collections with him. It was supposed to be available for research by now, but unfortunately it isn't. It's in a warehouse in Queens. It will be, and I was just advised today that my next collection will be made under my own name.
Okay.
So I will
great.
have my own collection going into Lincoln
Oh,
Center.
great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, congratulations.
So your name will be there in the Lincoln Center.
That's
in
right,
lights.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And it's interesting that Lincoln Center saw the importance of getting behind
It
this.
sure is.
And they really saw it, and their library saw it. And that's part of the New York City
Well,
Public
that
Library.
yeah, and that particular branch of the New York City Public Library is fantastic. They put on shows in that auditorium that are phenomenal. That's where they show Joey Jeffries' drag
Video
show,
Verite.
Video
Yes.
Verite every year.
I just
And-
found out today that they have an actual stipend, a grant at Lincoln Center for queer performance art.
Oh, wow. So, speaking of queer performance art,
Yeah.
can you tell me what is the significance of drag in American culture?
Mm,
Why is this so? It's something that just has been around forever. I mean, I guess people date it from, folks on television, the famous cross-dressing comedian from the 50s. I can't think of his name, of course, but it will come back to me.
Geez, I don't know what the significance is back in
but
summer.
No, I think it goes further back
yeah,
than
that's
that.
what I was saying. How far back do things
I can
go?
sum it up with the title of the former Wayne County's book, who's now Jane and who's here in town too. You know,
Oh,
at the
great,
Chelsea Hotel
yes.
Friday night. And I love the title of her book, which kind of sums it up for me as far as the significance. The title was Man Enough to Be a Woman. I kind of like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Jane County is great,
Uh-huh.
isn't she? Oh my
Yeah,
God!
I'm not
What a
feeling too
terrific
Friday, I was
performer!
thinking,
Yeah, that's
You were
something to
active
see.
politically in the sense, not just in queer gay politics, but in the, for example, it was we discussed last time we were here how it was the coquettes who placed the daisies in the barrels of the guns of the
That was
National,
hibiscus.
of the National Guard standing in
right.
hibiscus, standing around the
And
Pentagon.
The Oakland Induction Center, when the boys were being inducted, we would go and try to talk them out of being inducted. Even the Coquettes had a van there that would give them sex and get the deferment.
They could get the deferment right on the spot.
Right. We'll show you're gay.
Yeah, right. That was before don't ask, don't tell.
Oh, imagine this.
That's when, forget about don't ask, don't tell. If we find out, you're out
That's
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right,
enjoyed being an
interesting.
early purveyor of gay liberation.
Mm-hmm.
I found, though, the first gay liberation meetings I attended in 68 and 69 were kind of dreadful because people were having problems coming out to their families. Hibiscus and I, neither one had that problem. My parents never learned I was gay. The last they knew of me, I was running around with loose married women. That was her, and Hibiscus's mom told him he was gay. So
So he didn't have to tell her anything.
So we had a different the other people had a different experience. It was
Well,
so
how did
painful.
your family react? I mean, how to your coming out as a coquette? I mean,
They never learned.
They didn't know,
have no
so
idea.
they just
They
said.
have no idea.
No, they're gone.
I missed all that. I'm
They
sorry it
have
went
no
by
idea.
so fast.
No, no,
I have
they-
to sometimes ask again.
They never
these-
learned. The last image they have of me, I'm running around with loose married women in Hollywood.
Yeah. Right. That's amazing to me that nobody in your family knew, not just your parents,
No,
but
no.
nobody knew. And how about to this day?
No.
Really? Is there a reason for that? Do you think they couldn't take it?
No, they just
They had a different life.
checked out of
Yeah.
his life long
They just
ago.
didn't. I see. Interesting.
I
Very good.
created my own nuclear family over the years.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of your nuclear family,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that video of Francois.
Oh, that's
and
playing.
talk a little
This
bit
one
about
here, right
him.
here?
Uh-huh,
Okay,
that's
we'll
the
play
one.
that right now.
Yeah.
You guys talk for a moment.
So
A little bit about
set it
him.
up, and let us know.
Sure. Francois is a wonderful contemporary dancer, who I just had the pleasure of meeting just last September on Labor Day. He came into my life. A filmmaker introduced him to me, and he arrived at my door a week before he was going into a artist retreat in California, where I live, for 1 month. He wanted to see San Francisco. He was going into a retreat for 1 month to create a piece and had never been to America before. And he's danced all over the world, but he hadn't been here. So I brought him in and I hosted him for a week and mentored him, and he's a fabulous young man. He's just turned 26, and he went into the retreat, which was rather rigid and strict. They had a lot of rules and stuff. He kept escaping for the retreat. At that time I was doing my Blue Hours, hosting a monthly Blue Hour at the Hypnodrome after Pearls Over Shanghai, and I asked him would he like to dance in my blue, and he did. And it was so sensational for him because he has danced in symphony spaces and classical concert halls all over the world, and the response is but when he danced that night at my Blue Hour, it's the first time he did cabaret. The people howled and hooted and jeered, and I thought, oh my God, they're ruining him. They're ruining him. He's gonna hate it. He loved it. He loved that response.
That's great. He fed off of that live response.
Joe Jeffries asked him yesterday, what was your favorite theater you've ever performed in? And he's performed in palaces and in festivals all over the world, in Singapore and Paris and Avignon. He said the Hypnodrome.
That's so great.
That response, I was so touched by it.
It is exhilarating, the response of a live audience that has a sense of exuberance. And
so he's here with me on holiday.
Great.
He's on holiday and I'm working again, but he's at the Broadway show here tonight. And we'll be both back in October. He'll be performing at St. Mark's Church.
Oh,
and
fantastic!
Right,
two very big dance venues here in New York.
So you can come see him perform. And here's a bit of a snippet of a performance in the Blue Hour.
Oh, great!
And let's just let this go for 4 minutes if we have it, because it's a wonderful piece in its entirety.
We do.
He's dancing to a Rossini score, and he calls it the Sweeper. I think he plays the chimney sweep.
That was fantastic. I loved that. Wow.
Yes, Francois is my little Nijinsky.
He really is. And he...
Here I am, host in the blue. His partner, Cecilia, she's on holiday right now in Argentina at home, but she'll be joining him for the dance they're going to do at St. Mark's Church.
Oh, okay, so he has a partner that he dances with.
He does.
Okay, great.
Not all the time. He dances
solo
He
as
works
well,
for
of
other
course.
festivals and companies, but he's a major talent.
Definitely. Boy,
So-
he can really work a piece of fabric.
Yeah. And that was a blanket.
So Rumi
know.
Missabu, welcome to Let Them Talk, Rumi Missabu, and tell us a little bit about how folks can learn more about what you're doing in the Coquettes, and how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, sure. You can go right to my Facebook page, which is Facebook at Rumi Missabu, RUMI, MISSABU, or you can email me at coquetterumi@gmail.com.
You better spell that.
COCKETTERUMI@gmail.com. All one word.
Okay, great. We'll give that again in a minute or two at the end of the
Cool,
show. And so, Rumi, tell me a little bit about what we just saw, just for folks who might be just
About
tuning in.
Francois.
About Francois.
Well, Francois came into my life, like I said, last September. He's been an incredible talent and inspiration for me. I never had aspirations to dance before, but he's actually inspired me to dance a kabuki piece that I'm going to be performing in
how
October.
interesting.
And it's not going to be a traditional kabuki piece. We're keeping the premise of the kabuki piece, but we're putting it to classical music
Oh, how
rather than
interesting.
traditional Japanese music.
That's interesting.
And I will play a fair young maiden who has been jilted by the one she loves in the stillness of a snowy night. And at the end of the dance, I will transform in front of the audience into a nun. Let's see if I can pull it off.
Kabuki to
Yes,
sisterhood.
and Francois will actually be doing his own performances here with Cecilia. They're involved in a little scandal right now with the church because of the dance he's planning to do. So
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be
Well, we're going to
something.
want to hear more about that this fall.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So we have 3 minutes left, and what do we want to focus on the last 3 minutes? And
Maybe we want to show the opal clip because it's so short and set that up.
Okay,
'cause
we'll
it's so
set that up
sweet.
now.
It's 2 minutes long.
Okay, great.
Let me say a little bit about it. It's a riveting film that I've worked on for the last couple of years about the life and death of the streaker in 1974 at the Academy Awards, who ran out naked in front of David Niven as he was introducing Elizabeth Taylor.
I remember it well.
And I've made a
Showing my
fabulous
age.
film with the filmmaker Robert Opel, who is named after, which is his nephew. And the film has now been submitted to major festivals, to Tribeca, to Cannes, to the Out Festival, and to Sundance. And we're waiting to hear who's going to take it. So it's just a little trailer.
So this is a trailer.
It's the trailer, and we might even end the program. Here it is. It's called Uncle Bob, or Opal, in this little trailer. But it's a riveting experience and a wonderful docudrama, and I'm so proud of it. I'm not only play myself in it, I'm associate producer, I did camera work for it, I insulate. I got a lot of the shoot together. Here we go.
And now, to divulge the contents of this year's most important envelope is a very important contributor to world entertainment, and someone, quite likely, but isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings.
The streaker, Robert Opel, was not arrested. He was instead brought backstage for the press to interview.
Can I speak for you? I'll speak for you. Well, it's one of those one-time things.
It's a riveting docudrama that I've just finished. Been working on it 2 years. Made by Robert's nephew, Robert Opel, a fantastic actor and director. I hope you get to see it.
It looks fascinating, very interesting, Rumi Missabu, and another insight because we talked about the movie Milk earlier on in the show. So we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Rumi.
Thank you very much for having me, Paul, Joni.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.